Everyone, we are moving on to law of sines today, which is super useful. Just for our warm-up, we're going to practice using the law of cosines, so I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video and try to work this out on your own first. Okay, so solving for the angles, I really only need to solve for two angles because I can find the third via subtraction. So it doesn't really matter, but let's solve for p first. So if I'm solving for p, I need to know, I need to use r and q on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to plug in 6 squared is equal to 4 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 4 times 9 cosine of p. I'm going to subtract, divide, and then arc cosine. So p is going to be 32.089 degrees. Okay, exactly the same thing. We're just going to switch the numbers around. So this time let's solve for q. So 9 squared is equal to 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6 cosine of q. Solving, I get that q is 127.168. Now from here we can just subtract from 180, but just for fun, let's go ahead and solve for r the harder way. So 4 squared is equal to 6 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 6 times 9 cosine of r. Just for practice, we plug into our calculator. We get that r is 20.741 degrees. Okay, so let's explore what the law of sines actually is. It's just saying that the ratio of each angle, the sine of each angle, to each corresponding side length is going to be equal across the triangle. It's nothing groundbreaking there, but it is super useful practically. So in our first example, they want us to solve for a and c. They tell us that b is 6. So what I know is that the sine of 56 is to 6, as the sine of 42 is to c, as the sine of 82, so if I solve for a measure of angle A here, just subtracting from 180, is to A. Okay, now I can very easily just split this into two proportions and solve. So I know that A must be 6 sine of 82 divided by sine of 56, so just manipulate algebraically. Plug that in your calculator and make sure you're in degrees, and A must be 7.166. Okay, same thing with c. So we just do, we can cross multiply and then divide, or you can reciprocal and then multiply. It doesn't really matter how you think about it. But c is going to be 6 sine of 42 over sine of 56. So c must be 4.842. Alright, so clearly law of sines is really useful to use if you have a lot of angles, whereas law of cosines is better to use if you have more side lengths. Okay, next example, we have ABC. They give us two angles and a side. Okay, it might help if you draw a picture, but we can also just set up our ratio. So solving for measure of angle A, so subtracting from 180, I know that A must be 78. So that tells me that sine of 78 is to 6, which is A, as sine of 60 must be to B, as sine of 42 is to C. Alright, and then from here I just solve for B and C, same way I did in my first example. Okay, so B must be 6 sine of 60 over sine of 78, and that is going to give me 5.312. And that's all that they're asking us to do, so we can stop there. Alright, go ahead and try the next example, and if you get stuck, you can see what I did. solving for a measure of angle B, we get 39. And so I can set up my ratio. I know that sine of 53 is to 4, as sine of 88 is to J, as sine of 39 is to B. Okay, and then I just need to solve for J and B. So J must be 4 sine of 88 divided by sine of 53, which is 5.005. B must be 4 sine of 39 divided by sine of 53, which is 3.151. Alright, that is it for these notes. I will see y'all later.